Oh. A very good morning to all. I'm Kong Sing San. I'm teaching science in SMK Compass. My level of class for my learning activity is intermediate. As you can see, my title is Rub, Feel and Fix the Friction. Now, why do I choose friction for my learning activity? Actually, for Science Form 2, yes, the students are exposed to the real world problems affected by friction in their textbook. For example, the aerodynamics shape of the aeroplane, the lubricants used in engine, the hovercraft. But for all this, the students, it's just a context that have to memorize for students. Okay, so for my learning activity, I want to create something for the students, the real world problem about friction for the students, whereby they can solve it and they can try to innovate. Okay, so let's look forward to my activity. The students will find out problems by friction in the school. And by the end of the lesson, the students will be able to identify one problem related to friction in my school. And the skills involved, of course, is a real-world problem solving and innovation. Let's look forward to my steps of activity. The first steps, the students will move in a group of 5 or 6. Okay, they have to delegate their own roles. For example, they have a leader, the timekeeper, the auditor, the organizer, and the engineers. The group will then begin to create a folder in the OneDrive, whereby they have to share it with me and their fellow members. This is so as I can assess and evaluate their progress. This is one of the example of my students. They are using their mobile phones to download OneDrive. So when they move around the school, they can snap their pictures and videos and upload in OneDrive. After all this, the students have to move in group, move out of the class. They have to move around the school by bringing their tools. For example, the measuring taps, the lubricant oils, cooking oils, coconut oils, and even eraser that is useful for friction. They are given 30 minutes. Okay, these are the examples of my students using the oils, all types of oils that they are able to find. Okay, this is the examples. Let's move forward. Next, the students will have to move back to my lab. They have to report back what are their findings. And I, as a teacher, I will facilitate them in whatever questions that they have. Okay, then they have to assess the Bing. Why? It's because this is their way, this is their ideas, but they still need the internet to find the accurate ways, okay, so as to get a rigid solutions. And of course, they have to upload their presentations again, and pictures, they have to get ready for their presentations. And while they are giving their presentations, the other group will have to give feedbacks and comments on the relevance of the problem. Okay, these are my students presenting by showing their findings. This is the example of they use the sand on the tiles of my school, because actually for my school, in the solar building, the tiles I would consider the tiles is quite slippery. It's the kind that is used for the walls. Okay, so my students find a solution by discarding the smooth tiles, the expensive tiles, but instead you use the cement and you kind of like spread the coarse sands on top when they dry. Okay, this is their level of science, but for me, it is a great finding for them. Okay, so as a conclusion, for me, I'm glad that my students are able to identify one problem occurred by friction in my school. And this is a student-centric learning because the students get to move around the school, they get to feel the friction. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Cikgu Kong.